Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, we're going to talk about a long term relationship or marriage with an unhealed avoidant. You guys were asking about this, and I think this is important. You guys are asking about like the specifics of my parents' marriage, and they are divorced now. My dad is an unhealed avoidant, and my mom is an unhealed anxious, and their marriage was pretty much solely the failure of their marriage was solely responsible because of their attachment issues. And I want to spend some time talking about it because I really feel like it will help because it is textbook attachment issues. And I think my dad being an unhealed avoidant and seeing how it affected his life helped me when I got older in my relationship to not want to make the same mistakes. And so that's part of why I was comfortable healing, which is why a lot of you guys ask, was he, my significant other, the main reason why I healed? Yes and no, because I had other motivating factors. With him, my significant other, he told me the only factor was me, that kind of puts a lot of pressure on me. But I remember him specifically saying, I changed because of you. Like he always said that and says that. I didn't even ask him to, but okay. I do appreciate that, but that is so it depends on the person. Like he was a huge factor of why I changed, but he's not the only factor. I know a lot of it was because a part of me was like kind of scared to end up the same way. I respect my dad, I love my dad, but I do think that there was things that he could have done better, and I didn't want to make those same mistakes because I was like his shadow. I was so similar to him, and I still am, but I don't want to do the same things that he did. So if anyone doesn't want to hear about that stuff, skip like 4 or 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. And so now I'm going to jump into their marriage. So they got into a relationship pretty young. I think they were like 18 and 19. And they met through a friend. And on their first, no, I think my mom said on the first or second date, what she said was she noticed something like different about him compared to the other guys. He was more mysterious. It's going to sound so weird, and it's actually like kind of gross for me to say it because like ew, those are my parents, but I want to help you. She said like he was like mysterious and like cool, and like she said like he was like different and rebellious. My dad was kind of rebellious growing up, and she said this is just so awkward and weird to say, but like he was like very smart and he got into like a lot of good schools. Like he did get into like really good schools in this, like they came to this country and he got into like really good schools. I don't want to say because I don't care about schools, but she cared, I guess. And so like that made him like really cool because he like didn't, he's like, it's so cringy, but whatever. He like didn't study, like whatever. And he was like really detached and cool. And like he had like friends and stuff like that. So he was like charismatic, but like very like non-committal, didn't want like anything. So like not tied down type of deal. Yeah, whatever. And then she was like, he thought he was like so cool. And she thought it was cool that like they went on a date and she was like telling everybody about it, whatever. And so they started dating. And then like as they started dating, he started like opening up more, like when his like childhood and like when he was younger, his like parents were like strict and like whatever. And he would like do things by himself and go on like adventures by himself and like take his bike like far away, or like he would build things on the roof of their house, whatever it is. So like he started like really opening up. And like then she started opening up about her dad like being like I don't know, like too strict on her, preferring her older sister. She felt like she was never pretty. And so they opened up like kind of quickly. And so they got really close like very quick. And then the quickness was too fast. So during that quick time, because remember they're young, they're like, I think they were literally like not even 20 yet when this stuff started happening. Then at this point my dad started making like promises, and he did that. He told me he did that because he really was falling, but like he didn't really ever open up to anyone like this before. So he like was just saying whatever. And sadly, he said that he never really, he did mean it, but he also didn't know what he was saying. And so he made like promises like they're going to be together, ABC, whatever it is. And then she really fell for that. And then when, push came to shove, he kind of didn't want to. He started running away, he started detaching, and she felt like really hurt about that because he was so cool and like letting her into like their life or their world, and he started running away from that. And so over the course of their relationship, she, was feeling more and more anxious, whatever it is, and she felt very sad. And truthfully, she admitted she started pressuring him about the things that he promised. So in a couple of years, they did end up getting married. And my dad said that he was actually happy that he did get married. So it's not like because she pressured him, he was like miserable. That's not, he never told me that. He actually said that he was grateful and he kind of wishes that their marriage could have worked, but he knows that their personalities just would never work. But he told me like he never wanted the marriage to fail. And my mom was the one who ultimately left him. I don't think that he wanted the marriage to fail, even though he was the one that was always pulling away. But I don't think he saw that as a failure in the marriage. He just thought that was issues in the marriage, but ultimately she left. But throughout the marriage, he was distant, he was detached. He was always doing things, like always with his business, always building things he loves building. He was always like very attached to items, like he's very attached to like his trucks. And I think my mom felt like, this sounds so weird, but like he gave more attention to his trucks than he did to his family. He was always like taking us, like kids and like our cousins, on like not so safe trips or whatever. Like he would, there was like a very, not mountainous area, but kind of, where he would take his truck and like all of us, like me, my cousins and all of us, and like drive through that. And like, that was probably not the safest thing. It was fun. It was very fun, but like my mom didn't like that he didn't listen to those things. They had a lot of clashing. He was like, he had like a lot of big ideas, and then she felt like it was not gonna pan out. It did end up panning out, but she just felt like he would never reassure her. He would never tell her what's going on. He would just do his thing, come back randomly, not say anything. And she felt like very detached. So she asked for a break from the marriage, and he was like, okay, fine. And then during that break, he did even more dumb stuff, which I'm not going to get into, but he did a lot of stuff that he really regretted. Then he ended up he did dumb stuff, okay? And he felt extremely like remorseful and regretful, so he wanted to try and get the marriage back. And I remember this moment because it was really weird, because I think it was the first time ever that I saw my mom actually be fully done with him, where she gave him a chance for like a day, and then she said, you know what, you're not gonna change. And then she decided to go ahead and go for the divorce. And throughout the marriage, it was very distant. He was not affectionate at all. I felt like she always wanted affection from him, and he never ever gave it. He was critical of her. He was very critical of her. He was very easily annoyed by her. He was very short with her. He was just like a very detached person, like incredibly. And he wanted all of us to be like that. Like he stopped raising these other kids like that, but with me, he always said like, we have to be this way, we have to be tough, this is the way we're made, whatever it is. And so I ended up like that. And so what I noticed about their marriage is some of the stuff that we're going to talk about today. I noticed that she felt more and more lonely and confused as the relationship progressed. And so if you are with an unhealed avoidant, you might feel like that too. You will feel like the relationship is confusing. You will feel like the relationship is empty. You will feel like you're always trying to get something met that the other person almost refuses to do. The next one is you may find yourself feeling more like using unhealthy coping skills to gain attention or approval. My mom did a lot of silly stuff. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to out her like that, but to get my dad's attention. I remember so many things, and the saddest part is like it literally just like went over his head. Like it like bounced off him, and I felt bad actually for her, and I felt bad for him because he was like really confused. And you might see yourself doing that, and that made it even worse. The next one is you might feel frustrated about not getting your needs met because you feel like your needs are reasonable, and you are, and you will start feeling like you're not loved and cared about. And then you'll accuse them of not loving you, and they're going to call you dramatic or crazy, and you're going to feel very hurt. And those words are not nice, by the way. And then the avoidant will feel like they're pressured to measure up to something. And once they try, they're only being met with more criticism because it's never enough. I remember my dad said that all the time. It's never enough. I never know what to do. I never know how to deal with this. He would say that all the time. It's never enough. And the next one is the avoidant might feel detached from the overall dissatisfaction that you feel because they feel like the way they process grief is like detaching. And so because they know you're dissatisfied, what ends up happening is the avoidant individual detaches in hopes that the relationship might get better if they detach, but then you end up wanting the relationship either over or fixed right away. This is hard to explain. But basically, sometimes what the avoidant does is they know the marriage is failing. And so they detach further in hopes that the detachment will make you calm down. And all that does is make you more mad. And so they get more afraid to lose you. So they pull away even further in hopes that you'll calm down. And all that makes you do is get more and more mad and potentially break up with them. And then the last one is they get frustrated by the lack of support of their needs. Like they need space, they need time, they need to do all their hobbies and their adventures and all their stuff. A lot of avoidants really like doing like multiple things at once, and you're afraid of those risks, etc., which is understandable, but then they feel like the lack of support. And so it's really hard to summarize this video, but the best way to put it is an unhealed avoidant and an unhealed anxious, or another individual who's insecurely attached who's unhealed. The marriage is hard. You're going to feel like you're never going to get what your needs are. Like you feel very frustrated, you feel very alone. They detach in a lot of ways and they feel like they're never enough. And so I hope this video is helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.